Adidas sent me this shoe a week ago, and if the only place you have seen it is your phone, you probably think it's a pretty plain white sneaker, and you might even think it's just a little over exaggerated. I thought the same thing leading up to opening the box and seeing them in person. There's a glow hiding in this shoe that you can't see under normal light. There's also just tons of little details on it that I think almost everybody is going to miss. And before we're done with this video, I'm going to turn every light off in this room and show you what I think you're missing. I'm Nick, I run Sneaker History. I've been obsessed with sneakers for decades, and I spent more than 20 years working inside the footwear industry for companies like Soul Collector, Complex Sneakers, Finish Line, StockX, you name it. I've probably worked there or worked with those companies that you know and love in the sneaker world. And now I'm building independently. I almost never give one single shoe its own dedicated email send with my newsletter, the Sneaker Newsletter. The business to me is bigger than any single release, and if you subscribe over there, you already know that. But this one has been sitting on my desk for about a week, and I keep picking it up and looking at it and seeing different aspects of it that doesn't really happen with most new releases. Thousands of pairs have passed through my hands over the years, and for this one, I broke out some special camera gear to really show you how crazy these are in person, and details I haven't seen anyone else talk about. Now, if you're into sneakers in any way, you already probably know that this is the Jellyfish, the Adidas Adistar Jellyfish from Pharrell's Virginia line. This is the white pair. It's $300 retail. It drops on August 1st. And Adidas was kind enough to send these over to me early. And I'm telling you that up front because I think you should always know when a brand puts a pair of shoes in somebody's hands. It doesn't change how I think of it necessarily, but it just means that you get to see it a little bit sooner than waiting for it to land on the app or land on shelves. This is how it showed up, by the way. Not really anything crazy custom or anything, just the Adidas logo there with the Virginia branding and then the Virginia branding on the top of the box. Pretty low key for how this shoe is, and especially how I originally thought about it. The packaging feels a bit right for the triple white colorway though, to be honest. I think on a screen, especially small screens that we're scrolling on all day, a mostly white chunky runner kind of reads pretty quietly. Maybe a little bit plain even, easy to scroll right past. And I've been trying to photograph these for a week, and I promise you, my photos don't even do it justice, not even close, because the details on these shoes are just crazy. The camera just feels like it flattens all of those details. I've been doing this a really long time, and like most of you, I've learned to not trust those first looks at a photo or those early looks at shoes. Some of the best shoes I've ever held look like nothing on the screen and came alive the second they were in my hands, or better yet, on my feet. And I think we've all experienced plenty of shoes that, quote, broke the internet in product shots, but then felt nothing like that in person. The photo and the object are two different things. We forget that because we mostly meet shoes as pictures now, that this is the case. This one is one of the clearest reminders of that I've seen in a long time. And I think it's a fitting problem for a shoe named after a jellyfish. Think about an actual jellyfish for a second. From across the room, it's just like this weird shape drifting in the water. It's when you get close that it turns into something else. The way it goes translucent, the way the light passes through it, all the details that you just don't see from across the room are there when you're up close and personal. Now, I would never tell you to go put your hands on the real thing, but this one, I think you should. I think you should go check it out in person. Any of the colorways will probably do, but I do think there's something very special about the all-white colorway. So let me actually get close with you because this is where it lives. Start with the upper and you'll notice it is not one piece. It is so many layers. There's mesh underneath and then the webbed, almost exoskeleton cage sitting on top of that, and certain spots it goes see-through kind of. And depending on how the light hits and what angle you're looking at the shoe, you're looking through the shoe as much as you're looking at it. Then I think the midsole is just a beautiful thing. It's sculpted, it's not molded flat. It has this movement to it. It's like something you would actually find underwater. In white, with no color really pulling your eye around, you can kind of finally see how much shape is happening down there. That's just one of the details that I think most people are going to miss. Another are these reflective hits. In normal daylight, you walk right past them. They look like part of the material. Then the flash of light hits them, or a headlight, or a camera, and they light up out of nowhere, and I missed them for a couple of days because I wasn't really paying close enough attention. But they were there the whole time, and I think it's just like the glow-in-the-dark aspect. I just wasn't looking close enough at the shoe, and that's just part of the details that are impressive about this shoe. It doesn't hand you everything up front. It kind of makes you work for it. You got to get closer. You get close enough, and it stops feeling like a product, and it starts kind of feeling like art that you can lace up. And this is why I think the white pair is the one I would point you to out of all the colors that have come out of this shoe. Now, I've said this for years, but in a lot of different ways. I have talked about all white shoes at length on the Sneaker History podcast. I've written about it on the site more than once, and I got into it again this week over on the Sneaker Newsletter. I'll link that below if you want to check it out for the long version of why I think this shoe is really special. But the short version is this: the all-white version of a shoe really has nowhere to hide. There's no loud palette carrying it. There's no color story doing emotional work for you. When you strip all of that away, the thing left is the design itself, the shape, the textures, the variations, the way the light moves across it all. A lot of shoes fall apart under that test. The color was the whole personality, and once it's gone, so is the shoe itself. Nothing against any of those shoes. We all have those shoes that we just love the colorway of, but I think this one just gets better. You take everything away and it still makes you feel something. That's the highest compliment I can pay a design, and I do not hand it out very often. Speaking of things that you cannot see right now, I told you we would turn the lights off. There it is. I've been sitting in a dark office almost every night this week taking pictures of these shoes like a kid with a new toy. No regrets. I know that glow is a gimmick, but I still love it. It's just one more thing that this shoe refuses to show you until you slow down and take an intentional look and pay attention to it. Now, the honest question here, $300. Would I have bought these with my own money a week ago? Scrolling past them on a phone? No. Flat out no. Not even a chance. After a week of holding them, turning them, chasing that glow around a dark room, yeah, I think I might actually spend the money on these. And that swing from no to yes is the entire point and the reason why I'm making this video, because nothing about the shoe changed. The only thing that changed is that I got to get close to. And that brings me to what actually surprised me the most about having these in hand. I actually want to wear them. There's so many conversations about how wide they are and how aggressive they are, how overdone they are. And that is not usually where I land. In case you haven't noticed, I am not a style guy. If you want somebody who can really talk about fit and how to pull off an outfit, go subscribe to my guy, Eddie Wynn. He's great at it, and you're not going to find that on this channel. I'm just here to talk about the sneakers themselves. But I have basically one rule for what goes on my feet, and the rest of my formula never really changes. It's 1 part Ben Davis or Dickies, a solid black tee or a white tee, a hoodie when the fog rolls in, a Giants fitted, and then a pair of sneakers that are worth having a conversation about. That last slot is really the only thing that moves much. It is the only one that is supposed to, really. And putting these on, the Jellyfish earns it easily. So I did the thing that I almost never do with a brand new pair this fast. I took them out, off the desk, out of the office after I got my photos, and put them onto my feet, wear them around, see how I like them. And on foot, out in the real world, under real street lights, instead of being in my studio where I can set up perfect lighting, they somehow hold up even better in my opinion. Yeah, it maybe requires a little bit baggier of a pair of pants than most people are used to, but I'm still wearing those baggy ass Dickies most of the time. It's out in the real world like that that really matters to me. Not the resale number, not the hype, the pair that a stranger asks you about and the two of you end up spending another 15, 20 minutes at the coffee shop talking kicks. That's what I mean about worth talking about. The white one everybody scrolled past on their phone might be the best example of it that I've seen in a long time. Not to mention, I live in Monterey and I get to the aquarium more than most people do. And the thing I love about Jellyfish is that no matter how many times you go or how long you stand there, you always find something new, a new detail, a new angle, something that was hidden in plain sight the whole time. This shoe does that same thing. It's why I call this one the big picture is in the details. You do not get that big picture until you get close enough to see the small stuff. This shoe lives up to the name. So if you get the chance, do not judge this one from just a photo. Go find a pair you can actually put your hands on, get up close, play with it in the light, find the reflective details. And of course, while you're there, tell someone you like their kicks. You never know how far that goes. I shot hundreds of photos of these, by the way. So if you want some really cool abstract phone wallpaper type stuff, tell me in the comments and I'll edit the rest of the photos and upload them someplace you guys can grab. But if you have a shoe that only clicked for you once you saw it in person, let me know what shoe that is in the comments too. That's the whole reason this channel exists. Subscribe if you want more of this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.